Welcome to the Wager Makers Podcast with Webb and Smitt.
Brick by brick, baby. I'm freaking out, Webb.
I was told there'd be no man. Stupidity's going to be an asset. What a bunch of crybabies.
Hello, my name is Steve Smith, and this is Rob Weber. Say hey, Webb.
Hello. What's up, Smitt?
What's up, Webb? I'm Smitt, that's Webb, and we are the Wager Makers, and this is the Wager Maker Podcast. Thank you all for joining us. We are right in the middle of March Madness, and it's been a crazy, crazy week. I was worn out by Sunday, Monday night. The schedule threw me off a little bit. I'm used to having games all day Thursday. That didn't happen. We had just Thursday night, but then it made up for it by having games all day Monday. So that was really, really a lot of fun. But Webb, I got to tell you, there's not really much fun out of running a basketball pool and your team gets bounced in the first weekend.
Smitt, for years I ran a suicide pool, and I'd lose week 1 and have to go to like week 18 or not, whatever, not 18, but week 13, like with no chance of winning, like just sending out Excel spreadsheets, like in like 1995, like when it was like a thing. I thought I was like savvy, sending out an Excel spreadsheet. You know what I mean? So
High tech.
I can certainly relate, and I'm glad you. Thank you. I thank you for taking on that burden.
Right. So I was feeling good after the first game. We both have Illinois going all the way. Illinois, one of the few games early on that was a blowout in the first round, just where the number one seed just looked like number one. They were up by 20 early. I think they won by 20, just dominated. And then during the next couple of days, people are complaining about their tournament, like Ohio State got knocked out. That was bad, but I only got them going a couple of rounds. No big deal. A couple other teams got knocked out kind of early. Texas gets knocked out early. People are like, oh, my God, my bracket's screwed. I'm like,
I told you Shaka can't coach. I told you.
We've been saying that. We've been saying that all season. All season, Texas, no good. No big deal. Texas, I just got them going a couple of rounds. No big deal. I'm good. Illinois is looking good.
Final four.
I'm down. I'm down. And then sure enough, comes out and just Illinois just. And this happens a lot in college hoops, but in college sports in general, you got a team like Loyola of Chicago. Most of those players would have loved to go to Illinois, just like when a Louisiana Lafayette or Louisiana Tech and they're playing in some sport against LSU.
Yep.
They get extra hype for that game because that's whether it was academics or whether they just weren't quite as good.
Right.
Just at the time that whatever it was, they would like to be playing at LSU, but just didn't cut the mustard by the time they were high school and stuff like that. So they get extra pumped for games like that. But obviously my team get knocked out, and once your team gets knocked out, you're screwed. You can't win this pool the way the points are set up.
Yeah, I mean I was getting kicked here, but I had Ohio State playing Illinois, whatever, in that bracket. I guess that would be the 8 to get to the 4. So I was done kind of early. I'm never. This is not my thing. This is a strictly. I took this one for the show. I'd rather much bet on these games. These brackets, you can't pick these upsets. You're better off either going all chalk or going all upset. You can't really. It's incredibly hard to pick cherry pick these upsets. No one's going to say, what's it? Loyola, who's Loyola of Chicago playing next? I'll pull it up here. We'll talk about it.
The next game. Well, they play Villanova. No. They play Oregon State next. Oregon State is a team that's really shocked some people. I got to say, one thing I did say last week, and you blew me off, was I said, I've been watching some of the Pac-12, and they've been playing some decent basketball, and we were all over the Big Ten all year, and really the Big Ten has laid an egg other than Michigan. And the Pac-12 has played, like they have Oregon State still in it. Oregon's only played one game because of the VCU COVID situation, but they beat the crap out of Iowa, and USC looked crazy good against Kansas the other day.
Pros. And then UCLA still in it too. I'm looking here at the lines. It sucks because the one I had UCLA going this far when we did it
right
by handwritten, but I think I had BYU. It doesn't matter. But I think I had BYU going to this point, and the one that's online. Not that it would matter either way, but at least I had something right with UCLA going from the play-in game still to playing until this point. And I think I even have winning another game actually.
Right. So just before we get any further, I want to thank Nick Perrone and MN3 Technologies. For those don't know, we haven't announced it yet, but there is an extra $100 added to the prize pool. So now the winner of the Now it's the MN3 wager makers bracket pool.
Yeah, that's right.
Will now be getting $600 instead of $500.
He's the best.
So Nick stood up. MN3 Technologies. If you're in that New Jersey area, you need some technical help, make sure you call MN3 Technologies.
He's a wizard. At the drop of a, he helps me out numerous.
That's our intern. He's helped, especially on the Jersey side of this thing. He's helped us a lot. So obviously, like I said, not digging it. The Illinois thing knocked me out of this thing, but keeping track of the pool, it's been a lot of fun. We have 42 participants, Webb, in the bracket pool.
That's great. That's awesome.
Right.
Thank you for everyone for that.
Yep, a lot of fun. So just so you want to know the breakdown of what's going on here. So as far as teams to pick and win it, just like I said, you might be way down in the standings right now, but if your team is still in this thing,
you got Gonzaga, or Michigan, or Baylor, you're still for sure in it.
So of the 42, 17 had Gonzaga going all the way. So you're still very much in it.
That's 100%.
5 people had Michigan.
Still in it.
4 people had Baylor.
Only 4 people had Baylor.
Only 4 people had Baylor, and we were on them early in the season as far as one of the really good. I had them going to the Final Four and losing to Illinois, but
that's what I had too. Yeah.
Iowa 2 people, so they're probably pretty much.
No, they're done. You're done.
Ohio State had 1. They're out. Missouri, poor
done.
Bryce Bohannon, I think listens to his dad a little too much, just like your girl. We're going to be talking to Devin in a few minutes, and she unfortunately likes a lot of bad teams as well, for the same reasons that Bryce Bohannon picked Missouri, I believe. We had one, Marty Johnson, after the first few days and a couple of those upsets, thought she was looking real good with Kansas. Well, that didn't turn out too good come Monday night.
They got slam-basted like Carolina did.
And then we had Lexi had held true to her own. She's probably going to be a volunteer next year.
Yeah, that's what it's
looking like. So she went with Tennessee. That didn't work out too good. We've talked a lot about Scott Wheatley. He's living at the dorm. Oklahoma State going all the way. The best team in the country. The best player in the country.
Dorm is still standing.
He is not doing too hot. And we can talk real quick about Cade Cunningham. I know a lot of guys. I've been talking to my buddy Deuce Bohannon about him. He also thinks he's the man. Webb, I just don't see it.
I understand your point. He does disappear 100%, but I mean, it's the NBA. You don't get paid on performance. You get paid on potential. He shows potential for, I don't know, 14 minutes out of a 40-minute game. And that's who else is going? Let me ask you this. Who else is going number 1?
I don't know.
Mobleys?
But I don't know, but there's no way this dude can be,
it's the NBA.
The best non-NBA player in the world. I just don't see it.
Who went number 1 last year in NBA? I dare you to tell me.
Well, I have no idea.
Right.
The year before was Zion. I know that.
Well,
I know
that was one of these years. And you
what about was it the brother of the one that plays for Charlotte that got hurt the other day? Was he number 1?
No, the brother played. No. LaMelo, you mean?
Yeah.
No.
He was up there.
My guess would be Anthony Bennett, but that might have been 2 years ago. I couldn't tell you. That's how.
Maybe that dude on the Timberwolves wasn't he like that? Just had an awesome dunk a week or 2 ago. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, maybe. Right. But that's my point is that you don't know, and that you don't even know these guys. But it's not based on anything. Zion, you knew. Zion, you could get behind. That's a dude that looked like he could play in the NBA. Even to this, I mean, he's a baller now. He plays some defense. He'd be all right. But the NBA it's vastly different.
Well, I think Cade might fit in perfectly in the NBA.
That's my point.
Take 3 quarters off, and he'll come in the 4th quarter and play enough to get you close to the game. And
play three games a week, make, I don't know, $40 million a year. Why not?
Yeah, we had one guy, Mike Sullivan, still in it. It's got Alabama, still very much a possibility.
To win it?
In it. Okay?
Wow.
And we also have somebody in there that's got Arkansas, very much still a possibility.
Good pick.
I think they might play that Loyola of Chicago team coming up soon, so they might have a chance to get moving forward.
Are they in the same side? Would they? I wonder. I'm sorry, I should know.
Arkansas is on the side with Baylor, but their next game is Oral Roberts. So you got to think.
Wow.
I know Roberts has been playing well, but you got to think Arkansas has what it takes to do that. That gets you to the Final 8. Then anything can happen at that point.
No doubt. I mean, Villanova plays Baylor. That could. I mean, Arkansas, Oral Roberts, Loyola, Chicago, and that team is crazy. They're good. That coach is excellent. He coached the shit out of that last game.
Yep.
Florida State, Michigan. This is where I think Michigan may fall. Gonzaga is going to smoke Creighton. USC, Oregon. You got to go with the Mobley brothers there. And UCLA, Alabama. UCLA. It's again borrowed time. So those two dudes. Kudos on those picks, guys. I don't know where. I mean, you're SEC guys, obviously, but good for both of you. Good for you.
Yep. Yeah, because Alabama, certainly UCLA is playing well, but you got to think Alabama's better.
Well.
But who knows after 2-3 games in a tournament, whatever. But anyway, we had Dave O'Dude went with Georgetown as an old Hoya man. That was a little nostalgia pick kind of thing. I think we have two guys with West Virginia, Nick Perrone and another Perrone. I think
it's his son, Nick and Nicholas.
And another one is Jim Smiley is the only guy with Houston going all the way. They're still very much in it. Nice win they had over Rutgers.
Yeah, no, they looked very good. He's a great coach, Kelvin Sampson. It seems like all these guys get in trouble for something somewhere along the way. I don't know how you can kind of get through that without any of that bullshit happening, but he's a great coach. And they look good. That dude Grimes look awesome. Here we go, Smitt. Wager Maker Express. There it is.
Through. You guys haven't heard the podcast before? That's our local train. The straight to New York to the Jersey shoreline, right?
Actually, the Jersey coastline is what it's called, right down here from New York, right, Bayhead, New Jersey, straight up the coast to into Long Branch and then Newark, right into Penn Station, New York City, baby. But Smiley's got a shot too. They look good. He's a great coach. They do have players. They got some ballers, man. Houston is tough too. I mean, Rutgers had it. I don't want to kill the guy, Pickell or whatever his name is. He that would have been the story. He didn't have to win another game for 5 years.
Yep. I think Rutgers just pulled it out too early.
100%.
You know what I mean? They had the lead. They had it. And they just, once you see it a lot, these teams, once they go out of their offense for a little while, then you can't get a bucket. And the dude, all it takes is a couple threes, and teams are right back in the game.
But Smitt, they're up 2 points with like 2 minutes left, and you're pulling you're not up 8. You know, it's one score. If you miss, it doesn't you're limited.
They're still what do you think? What do you think? They don't have enough time to score again?
Right. I mean, right. You're a miss away from losing.
You have to outscore them.
Right. I don't know. They should have been played like they were losing, and it would have been better. And they missed a couple shots at the rim. One dude had a putback, another dude missed a layup. And to be honest, they were kind of lucky to get there in the first game. They scored a layup off some dude's knee. But listen, kudos to Rutgers. They are obviously on the. I was there in 1991 with Bobby Wenzel was there. Lee Perry was on that team. I think we talked about this. But good for them. But that was a drop ball there.
Right. They had it. They had that game.
It was over. Yeah. Yep.
Just looking down the brackets, we're gonna give some people some shouts out, man. Tied for first place, Stephen Brower has Michigan, and Christopher Cam has Gonzaga. My man Russ Langford is right behind them with Gonzaga. I mentioned Mike Sullivan already with Alabama. Chris Lawrence right there. Brad Bohannon and Arita Bohannon. Arita's the top player with Baylor so far right now, so she's got a shot. John Reeves with Gonzaga. Tim O'Donnell's right there. He's got Michigan. These teams that are still in it still have a chance. John Morgan, Brandon Lever. Again, I mentioned Scott Wheatley. He's probably out of it. Marty Johnson out of it. The other Chris Lawrence right there with Michigan. That's the dad and the son. Chris Gargiulo even right there. He's got Gonzaga, so he's got a shot. We had a couple guys with Iowa. That's Tim Frangione and Pete Lips. They're out. But Gary Frangione had Gonzaga. He's right there. Mentioned Nick Perrone. He's out. Lexi and Jim Smiley's right there. Fred Burwell's got Gonzaga. Again, Kyle Sheremy had Ohio State. They're out the first day. Grant Hayes, Nicholas Perrone have Gonzaga. Julia Zerdin with West Virginia. Anthony Frangione's got Gonzaga. They're all still in it. Susan Terry's got Baylor, still right there. Jeff Plaskinski has Baylor. Robert Lawson has Michigan. Blanchard with Gonzaga. Joseph Gronsuski. I'm saying some. I mean, even say some of these names wrong, but I just want to give people shouts out for being.
Well, that's the beauty of it. We don't know it. That's the good thing. That's what I'm hearing.
It's not just my friend and my uncle and shit being in it. And we got a lot of Bohannons. We got a lot of Bohannons, a lot of Perrones, and a lot of Franjones.
It's not people I didn't strong arm into doing it. You know, that's a lot of people I don't know, which is great. That's the beauty of hearing that. That's what I'm hearing.
We got our UFC buddy Steve Mellon has Gonzaga. Deuce Bohannon has Baylor, still right there. Obviously,
they got about as many Bohannons as there are chickens. They got the same amount of chickens.
But I think Deuce, he's got better picks than the chick picks from early in the season. Joey Walsh with Gonzaga Marianne Schrader's got Arkansas.
Oh, Joey, that's Lexi's guy over here.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, he's got Gonzaga, but he's down in the bottom of the Gonzagas. Yeah. Marianne Schroeder's got Arkansas, and Jared Fowler's got Gonzaga, but they're down. That's the bottom of the list. But you guys, man, if you got Gonzaga, you got a shot. And obviously, any of these teams, if you have Michigan, if you have Baylor, if you have Houston, you are right in it. I don't care what the number says and what the total says right now.
Well, certainly, if you have on the one side, if you have Gonzaga, and if you somehow have Baylor still on the other side, you're certainly well in it, because that's a lot of points. I'm certain Baylor's going to win. Certainly, you're not worried about covering. They're going to win this next game. Then it might get tight, but they look good, man. They could turn it on and do some damage. So if you have any of those teams on either side, Michigan, any of the teams that we talked to, you can certainly get to. If you can get to Final Four teams, that you'll be right there.
All right. So now I just want to get into something real quick. Whoever's listening from the pool, I emailed everybody with the link to the show tonight. Don't forget, MN3 Technologies added an extra $100, so the winner's $100. Now, there's a reason we're doing this. I know it's a lot of fun. We want to get some likes. We want to get some shares. We want to get some action going.
Right.
So make sure you go to the YouTube channel, like our page, subscribe, hit the bell for post notifications. Like our Instagram, get on our Facebook, get on our Twitter, do all that stuff. Like our page. Make sure the podcast is coming to you directly, whether you listen on Spotify or Podbean, however you can listen to it on iHeartRadio, however you get it, Pandora. Get on our stuff, get in on it, like it, get involved, send us emails, whatever you need to do. Get involved. So that's the whole reason we're doing this. And just to give us one little extra emphasis, we're bringing a special guest on right now, Webb. I want to welcome Devin Weber to the show. Okay, everybody. We told you we had a special guest coming to the show today. You've seen her every week telling you how to do the like and subscribe and do the bell every week. You see her on here. And we've had some of the people in the basketball tournament not following directions properly. So we brought our good friend Devin Weber back on the show. How you doing, Devin?
I'm good.
All right. So first, I want to say happy birthday.
Thank you.
I know yesterday was your birthday. How old are you now?
10.
10. I can't believe you're already 10 years old. So your dad said you had a few things you wanted to talk about, but first I want to ask you, I hear there's a new softball team that you're on this year. Your dad makes fun of me all the time for talking about the LSU Tigers too much. He says I talk about LSU too much. And I see you have the North Carolina Tar Heels hat on.
Yeah.
And so I heard that you are on the name of your softball team for the Tri-Shore Little League softball is the LSU Tigers. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. So you should be wearing purple and gold here pretty soon, I think.
Yeah.
So are you conflicted of whether or not you like the Tar Heels better than LSU, or are you still pretty much a Tar Heel girl?
Oh, I like the Tar Heels.
All right. No question.
No question.
All right. Because the LSU Tigers are pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so I hear you've been pitching and hitting real good too.
Yep.
How's the softball? Are you just practicing, or have you started games yet?
We're still practicing.
Still practicing, but you're the ace. You're ace on the mound, number one pitcher. All right. How's that? Do you throw mostly like fastballs, or do you have curveballs and stuff like that, or just mostly like straight, fast, hard balls?
Fastballs.
Yeah, that's it. Just mow them down with the heat.
Yep.
All right. So your dad said you had a couple things you wanted to talk about today. I think you all want to tell us some things about some teams you like in the tournament going on. Is that true?
Yes.
All right. What do you have to say?
Okay. So, first things first, I'm a big Cowboys fan, and UNC's the best.
Did you decide to say that, or your dad told you to say you had to say that?
Me.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay.
I won't cut you off anymore.
So, I think that my championship prediction for the men's tournament this year is that I think Villanova will win. And I think they'll come on strong this Saturday.
Very good. They've been playing really good, and they have a couple guys hurt, and your dad will tell you Villanova's like my favorite college team. But I didn't think they do too good because they got a couple guys hurt. But that's a good prediction. Now, nobody's thought they'd do good, and they blew out the teams in the first two games.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yes. Also about baseball, my early season prediction this year is that I think the Mets will win the World Series.
All right, that's your big prediction. Now I can tell you. Listen, you're a chip off the old block. Your dad loves the Mets. He loves the Tar Heels. He loves the Cowboys. Listen. You're gonna have to start thinking on your own a little bit here. Maybe Uncle Smitty is gonna help you. Like you keep listening to these teams that the Mets, don't they lose every year, Dev?
No.
How about the Cowboys? When have they won a Super Bowl in your lifetime?
I don't know.
All right. Well, I can answer you. Probably not. Okay.
Okay.
So it's okay. It's okay to like your teams, but I just want to see you have more fun with the season and not always like the teams that lose. So Uncle Smitty's going to start helping you out with that. Okay. All right. So now one last time, first of all, again, happy birthday. I can't believe you're 10 years old already. And I want you having a great season in softball and mow some people down. Get strikeouts. I want strikeouts after strikeouts. All right.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Well, hold on. And then one last time, I want you to tell people what to do when they're in this basketball pool. And when they go to our YouTube channel, what do they have to do?
Make sure you like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell.
Very good. Thanks, Devin, and happy birthday.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
All right. Well, thank you, Devin Weber. Happy birthday once again, and I want to thank you. And just a reminder, what she just said, make sure you get on there, you like, subscribe, and do all those things. And Webb, I happen to notice she likes a lot of losing teams. I know you probably gets that from you, but she does have Villanova, my squad. Going on, even though I didn't like them in the tournament.
Villanova's in the state of Louisiana now? Is that what you're saying?
I only like, I like Villanova. That's my college football squad, college basketball squad.
Right.
But anyway, and then it's nice to see. Hey, she's an LSU Tiger now. Maybe she'll win something.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
LSU Tiger, starting pitcher for the 2018 and 2019 District 11 champs. You'll be on the bump, the little bump that they have for softball coming soon.
All right. So Webb, we talked about what's been going on and what's happened so far. Let's delve into these games coming up. I mean, we got Sweet 16 games. Do you have the lines sitting there with you?
Yes, I do. Let me just bring it back up. Smitt, I got a couple. Just indulge me for one. First and foremost, how fucking great is it having the tournament? Let's forget winning, losing, brackets suck, busted, whatever. There's nothing better. Pandemic, pre-pandemic, post-pandemic, the waking up. By the time you're eating breakfast, you're getting ready to, especially you guys on the left, guys, the further west you go. But you're literally, I'm watching hoops from 11:30 till I'm falling asleep with the basketball. It's incredible. There's nothing better than having that. So let's just, I want to acknowledge, that's the first thing I have written on my notes. Let's acknowledge that, how great it is, at least have it back. And it's amazing. Even the banter that goes, even just everything that goes in it, it's all in. It's all good.
Yep, and let me add real quick to that. I'll say same thing, especially like I said, it hurt me not having it. I was expecting Thursday to have it.
Right.
It didn't really happen, so it was Thursday night. But Monday was awesome.
How about
and
that?
The cool thing is like we got my buddy Deuce Bohannon, right? He's in the basketball pool, but him and all his buddies, they're real like NBA guys. Like they love NBA basketball. They're not really as much college hoops things. But he's been texting me, man. It's amazing what a little action. What a little action will do you. You get on a bracket, he's texting me like all about the games, everything. Oh yeah, so it's been fun, man. I've enjoyed it, man.
Oh, good for him. Listen, anybody who is not, it's almost like once you start like with hockey, once you start getting like, if you're not, throw a couple dollars on a team in a series in a playoff, you'll be hooked, man. It's incredible. I've been trying to get Smitt to do this for a while, and same thing. This tournament's incredible. Another plug here just for college basketball in general. We do have games the 25th, which I believe is tomorrow. I believe we're going to be on the Richmond Spiders. We've been on all year. This is the NIT I'm talking about against Mississippi State. And I do like NC State against Colorado State tomorrow too. And then there's also Boise and Memphis. I'm not so sure about that one. And then we got the Louisiana Tech and Western Kentucky, which is another good game. But those are, check our Sports Watch Monitor tomorrow. But I can tell you right now, I do like the Richmond Spiders and NC State tomorrow.
Yes, we will be putting these games. We will be putting these games out on social media tomorrow.
And those
and on Sports Watch Monitor for sure
are fairly easy. And if you don't know, Memphis is coached by Penny Hardaway from back in the day, so they're decent, and they do get some good recruits. So that's legit. There's legit games there. All right, Smitt, I'll just kick it off. I guess the first one I have on the list here is Villanova and Baylor. Very interesting game. Baylor -7. Talk to me.
Well, I'm a Villanova fan, but I did not believe in them coming into this tournament. I thought that they were they had their that point guard got hurt,
maybe?
blew his knee out, and I just didn't think they would have what it takes. They have a couple NBA type guys on the team, but I just didn't think they'd have what it takes. I've loved Baylor this year. And I've seen Villanova get blown out a couple times, but Villanova surprised me. In fact, I had Winthrop beating them. I had Purdue going a little further. I did not have Nova getting to the Sweet 16. 7 sounds like a good number where you can beat a team pretty good and still only win by 6. But then again, I could also see Baylor running away with this game and Villanova finally being like, okay, we were shorthanded. We made it to the Sweet 16. And then getting behind the 8 ball in this game and really coming up big. I kind of like Baylor covering the 7 in this game.
Very tough game. Yeah, I mean, I can't agree with everything you said, which is just as scary as we go along here through this whole thing. I think I had Winthrop beating them too, and then I even had the other team beating them. So I did not have Villanova even getting at it. Gillespie, I thought, or Gillespie, whatever his name is, I thought that would kill him. Just a testament to Jay Wright. The dude can coach as much as these are one of these teams that are, beat Carolina in the finals there and kind of took Carolina's spot here as one of these top teams, I feel like anyway. So I have a little chip on my shoulder against them. Cannot dispute the fact that they're still playing after missing one of their best players. Testament to Jay Wright. And they pull out 1 or 2 of these top 25 recruits every year. Good to that. But I just, the defense of Baylor, I think, is probably going to get to him this time. You lose the game by 10. There's no shame in at this point in the season losing to a Baylor team by 8, 9, 10 points. I just don't. Weighing it, a tough game, but Baylor would be my pick here.
Yep, and not only that, but sometimes the bracket just kind of works out for you a little bit. So in this case,
right.
Nothing against Winthrop, but Villanova's probably a quality more team than Winthrop.
They play 100 times. Villanova's going to win that game 95 times.
Right. And then North Texas gets done beating off, beating in overtime, I believe it was, Purdue.
Super Bowl. They won the Super Bowl.
At the end of the day, you're like, well, I know in any other scenario, you're like, well, I know Villanova's hurt, but it's North Texas. I mean, it's sometimes the bracket just falls your way. Well, guess what? Villanova, that's not the case with Baylor this time.
Right. Right. The lucky breaks have now they're not lucky anymore.
Right. You're going to have to play somebody now.
You have your A+ game to win. Just to even get out of there,
I would say Villanova has to have an A+ game to keep it within 7.
To cover. Right. Absolutely. And it's broke.
Not that they can't win, but they're going to have to play really well to get to 7.
Perfect game. Absolutely. Agreed.
Okay, so I think we're going with Baylor on that one.
Yep. Next one I have, Smitt, this is 7. I'm just going to the order they have them on a sheet here. I'm not just any times. But this is still his 27th. Oral Roberts and Arkansas minus 11.5.
Yeah. Look, that seems like a really big number. And I like Arkansas. They've got NBA talent on the Arkansas Razorbacks team. But man, Oral Roberts has a good big man. I think his name's like O'Bannon or something like that. Really good guard play. I mean, I've watched them both of these games. Florida, they got up on Florida, but Florida came back and got the lead on them. And they still battled through.
Yep.
Also, in the Ohio State game, they just took it like this team. I've only watched 2 games, but when you're knocking off Ohio State and the Gators, we talk about how the brackets can fall for somebody. This is pretty 2 good quality wins here in these first 2 games. I know Florida may not be the Florida that they always are, and maybe Ohio State was a little down or whatever towards the end. But this is 2 good wins, man.
I can't agree. Like, this is not a team where they kind of just were firing threes and they were never looking. They were winning, losing, winning. They fought. Ohio State was, to me, in my mind, was a top 8 team, easy. And I've watched there's one of these teams left. There's only a couple that I haven't seen a shit ton of games, and this is one of them. Talk about Oral Roberts, but what I've seen, this to me is.
I'm willing to take 11. That's what I'm saying.
I got 11.5 on the body. So this is easy. This is a no-brainer. They could win this game. I wouldn't even throw some money on the money line here. Take the plus 300 or whatever you're going to get. Arkansas Musselman can coach. They're having a great season. Again, if this season ends for Arkansas right now, incredible season. Incredible. So I'm all over the 11.5 here.
Yep,
Easy.
I like Arkansas. I've talked about how I like Arkansas, but I'm down with where Robert's taking the points. They have guards that turn you over. They have guards that control the ball, and they got big men in them. I mean, they have looked like in the 2 games I watched them, which was the Ohio State. They were the better team.
Right.
They were the better team. Right. It wasn't like you say. It wasn't like they were 9 of 10 from 3.
Right. Yep.
They were the better team. That's it. On that day, on that court, whatever.
I mean, the comment I have written down here is, I think I mentioned it before with maybe it was Loyal. It's like these couple of coaches, these dudes can coach. I mean, like I said, it was a better team. They were prepared. They didn't back down. They took punches. They came back. They jabbed. They traded punches. They came back. They got knocked down. They stood up and they came back and beat these big, supposedly big heavyweight teams. So that's an easy one.
All right. Then
I got the Oregon State here and Loyola Chicago 6.5. Loyola Chicago minus 6.5. The total, Smitt, I don't know too much about it. I'm not going to mess with those. We can get into those. I'll mention them moving forward, but it's much easier just to bet on the teams, I think. Oregon State, this is the one that's me, has me scratching my head. I haven't seen a shit ton of games with these. This is the other one that I haven't. I've seen some Loyola Chicago. So we've had them several times. I'm just going to go with Loyola Chicago. They can coach. They again, this is a team they can shoot. They play D. There's a bunch of different ways they can beat you. So I'm gonna lay the 6.5 in this one.
All right. Well, I'm gonna. This is one I'm gonna disagree with you on. I talked going into the tournament that I thought the Pac-12. I watched a lot. Look, when you're gambling and these late night West Coast games, you probably watch a lot more Pac-12 basketball. Sometimes you're down and trying to get your money back, and sometimes you're up and trying to do something. So I've watched a lot. I mean, I talked about I have Oregon going to my Final Four. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I had Oregon going to my Final Four in the bracket. I left that the way it was after last week's show. I like Oregon. We've seen what USC has done the last couple games. They made Kansas look awful. UCLA has actually won 3 games already because they played the play-in game against Michigan State.
Right.
Colorado played well. They came up short against FSU, but I mean, they did win their first game. They killed somebody in the first day, and then they lost to FSU. But what I'm saying, and Oregon State won that tournament. They won the Pac-12 tournament, and that's the only reason they're there. I think they had kind of a down year. So now we're talking about, okay, they won a tournament. That's probably winning 3 or 4 games in a row. And then they win 2 games and certainly not give me's. I mean, they beat Tennessee, who was up near the top of the SEC all year long. And then they knocked off the Scott Wheatley team with K. And I'll tell you, they got the one guy, I want to say his name is Thomas Thompson. He's another NBA type quality guy on Oregon State. To me, he was the best guy on the floor against Oklahoma State, and they really put it to Oklahoma State. They beat him pretty good. Yep. And I feel comfortable taking 6.5, 7 points, whatever that one is in that game. So me and you, as far as sports watch, we'll go back and forth at that, or even a no play. But I would take the points in that game.
Yeah, I mean, what you're saying, I would use against you. They're done. They played out. They've won. They've overachieved at this point. And UL, whatever, it's like ULC or whatever that.
You can't even say their name, but they haven't overachieved.
Right. No, they're good, man. They're legit. They're like they lost like 4 losses. But all right, we can agree to disagree on that one. Next one here I have is Syracuse and Houston. Houston minus 6. Houston, this is one of those teams where, why is Houston laying 6? They should have lost to Rutgers. But we've seen this 100 times. Houston's going to come out here, and they're going to beat the shit out of Syracuse.
Well, let me tell you this. I like Houston. They have great athletes. A little quick story. Sampson, when he was in Oklahoma, he had some really good teams there, a couple Final Four type teams, and 2 of their guards were from New Orleans. And one little section there when I had them going all the way, Hollis Price and Quantus White, and they're actually assistant coaches for him over there in Houston, two New Orleans kids. But Houston's playing good ball, man. To me, I know Rutgers had them on the ropes, but I think Houston probably didn't play as well as they could have that day. But the thing about Syracuse, man, is I've during the regular season, I had Clemson against Syracuse. I had North Carolina against Syracuse. The other day, I took West Virginia against Syracuse. And for some reason, that matchup zone, when it gets to that Jim Boeheim runs when it gets to this time of year just absolutely gives teams fits. And I'll tell you what, Jim Boeheim's son can shoot he might be the best shooter in the country. This dude can score.
Oh,
he can be like half court shooting threes and make shots.
Yeah, you mean you can't guard him. Him and the other guy, Dolajev, or whatever his name is. Those are the whole team. But I mean, I'm sick of this. But Boeheim. Listen, they lost 11 games during the regular season. That was not by chance. This ain't Calvin Sampson's first rodeo. It wasn't Huggy Bear's first rodeo last game either. I had him losing that game too. But you're just getting into rarer and rarer air. It's higher and higher altitude here. He just doesn't have the horses. That's the bottom line. Buddy Boeheim's a baller. Can't take anything away from him. But there's 5 or 6 ballers on Houston, and and the coach on the other side is just as good, damn close to as good as Boeheim. So I mean, 6 points is a number. But that Cinderella, it's funny to say Syracuse is wearing a Cinderella slipper, but they are. They're not that good. That's the bottom line.
Right.
It ends. It ends now.
Fair enough. I have no problem taking Houston. I was just putting it out there. Syracuse seems to get me every time, and they've been slowly knocking off good teams here as we go. And but I think Houston might be too much. Houston is too much for them to handle at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I have so much invested betting against them. I'm not taking them. So that's the bottom line. I'm betting against them from here on in.
Right. Eventually, they're going to lose. They're not going to win a national championship.
Right. And they're going to get beat and not cover. So. Eventually.
All right. So that brings us to Sunday. There's 4 more games on Sunday. I like those picks we just made. Other than, like I said, we disagreed on one game, but let's move on to Sunday.
And Sunday, I got this game's 5 o'clock. I got Florida State and Michigan. Michigan -2. This one I may look at the 143.5 is the total. I may look under in this one. Michigan, to me, Smitt, we've gone back and forth on this team. I'm just unimpressed with them all around, and they are missing one of their best players. I was really disappointed in Juwan Howard, idiotic behavior there against the the Maryland thing. Like he's a tough guy from South Chicago. Come on, dude, you kidding me? By the time you're in the 10th grade, you have your life. You get the fuck out of here. You're a tough guy from South Chicago or whatever. South Side, give me a break. And now you're going to be fighting coaches on the sideline. Get over yourself, dude. So that's a bad taste in my mouth. I don't think they're that good anyway. I thought they were the weakest number 1. Now, Florida State, I'm going to talk about taking a team that can't shoot the ball and turns the ball over a ton of times. So I'm kind of talking about both sides of my mouth here, but I think the better coach is on Florida State, and they're getting points, and they're as good, at least, as a team. So I wouldn't tread lightly on this one, but my pick would be Florida State.
Right. I have no real hard choice on this one. I actually had in my bracket, I had LSU. We were big on Michigan earlier in the season, but I thought they fizzled out towards the end. I had LSU actually knocking them off, and LSU had them. They were playing good for 3/4 of that game, and then Michigan just kind of took off on them at the end. I think LSU had some bad shots, just dumb plays down the stretch. But Florida State, obviously the cream of the crop in the ACC this year, but it was a little bit off year for the ACC, I thought. But this is kind of a toss-up for me. I could see me taking Michigan and laying the 3 points, but if you feel strongly about Florida State, I'd be fine with that too.
Well, I'm not gonna pound the table.
This won't be a Sunday pounded game.
No one's pounding the table here. It's only 2 points too. But listen, I mean, Florida State, the 6th man on Florida State last year, I think, was the number 2 pick or the number 3 pick in the NBA draft. Scotty Barnes is on this team. He's going to be a top 5 pick, and he doesn't start either. So that just tells you the depth and the waves that they can come at you. And what you did say something that struck me good, like that Michigan, they kind of do hang around, like they kind of wait for you to almost beat yourself type thing. And Florida State does that with turn it, but they do when winning time comes on, they turn it on. So I mean, we could talk about this one later, but gun to my head, I'm going with Florida State in the game.
All right, move on to the other Sunday games.
I got Gonzaga here -13.5 against
I love
Creighton.
this one. I love this. And I'm finally going to go the other way.
No brainer, right? I mean,
I've been losing money betting against Gonzaga all year long, and I will not continue this nonsense.
Right. This one I'm going to flip it, right? This one I'm hopping on this one.
Right. Creighton is not very good. To me, I've seen them play a bunch of times this year in the Big East. I mean, again, sometimes the brackets fall your way. You ended up with UCSB in the first round. Webb kind of thought UCSB would even get them there. That didn't work out, but I think it was a close game. And then you end up with the Ohio, who beat Virginia. They knocked off Virginia.
Right, Virginia.
So you end up with a 13 seed to get you to Sweet 16, and you go crazy that you're there. Gonzaga wins by 20 minimum in this game.
I mean, this is gonna be this could be the one where you're looking, you're watching the other game, and you look up like, damn, they're up by. Is that 50? It's like, is that a 9 and a 4? Is it 90 to 50?
This will be my Sunday bailout if it's needed. I'm letting you.
Well,
too bad
early.
It's at 1:00. I wish it was a night game.
2:00. Yeah, 2:10. Yeah, I mean, I think we can certainly agree. I mean, you might want to bet this one like now.
I almost called you 2 days ago on this one.
So, yeah, that we can both of us agree wholeheartedly on. Cool. I love it. Great.
All right. Moving on, we got UCLA and Alabama.
Okay, that's a 7:15. I got Alabama minus 6.5 here and 145.5. It's a testament to the tournament that we're giving both you and I pause, because these are this. I think a couple months ago we could whack this one pretty easily. I don't know, man. This is a tough one. I think I'm gonna roll with the 7 points on this one, dude.
All right. I think I'm kind of leaning Alabama. I think maybe UCLA's stretch is over, but they've been playing winning basketball. You know what I mean? They're not flukes. If you beat Michigan State, even if it's a playing game, it's a solid win.
Right.
And then
especially in March.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Especially here, you're thinking, okay, Izzo, he's got his last chance to get his team in this tournament.
Easily be Michigan State playing right here.
And not only that, but Michigan State was up double digits in that game. Yeah. I think UCLA came back and won.
Cronin can coach. The Cronin can coach. I mean,
And then they won. They beat BYU. Yeah, they beat BYU.
And then they beat someone else. I mean, they should have double there. Right? Oh yeah. Well, that's. So that's not.
I'm leaning Alabama in this game, but I can easily be swayed. This is not one that I'm going to fight for.
This is the second to last game on Sunday night, which may be an issue here, but
we may have to play it by that time.
Right, exactly. But I mean, 7 points. Again, this is right on the number. But Alabama at the end of the day it's Alabama. It's not Alabama football. So I mean, again, if this season ends for them, it's a hell of a fucking season.
Right, Sweet 16.
And the dude is, that program is on the uptick. So. At this point, we can. I'm on the dog in this one, just to be on a dog, I guess.
All right, now I'm pretty sure we are going to disagree on the next one, but I can probably be swayed as well. I don't feel that strongly about this. Oregon plays USC.
Yeah, -2. USC -2.5. This one to me is easy. Those Mobley brothers are both pros. The dude, Evan, might be the number one pick. He's, in my opinion, playing better and has played better than Cunningham the entire season. The dude is the coach, can coach. What's his name? From Florida Gulf coach fame back in the day, a couple years ago when they had their run in the tournament. Oregon, listen, impressive. Pac-10, impressive top to bottom. I don't know what else to say. It's a 2.5 point spread. I just think I'm going to go with the dudes that are going to be playing, on Sundays. I'm going to take USC.
I'm probably leaning, and I'm just this will be one we can decide on Sunday. We got a lot of time.
The problem, this is the 9:45 Sunday night.
Right. This is a tough game for me because I like Oregon. I mentioned that I like Oregon going to the Final Four. I mentioned Oregon before we did the brackets. I thought they were unheralded. They won the Pac-12 tournament. They did lose to USC in the head-to-head matchup and got beat pretty bad, but I remember that game, and I had Oregon, and it was a game where USC just came out and they shot lights out I think they were up like 19-2 at one point. You texted me or something ridiculous like that. And it was one of those games that just was never a game from the jump. And so I feel like, and one reason why I like to go against USC, the only reason I saw how good they look, but so did the whole country. And I think that sometimes it would give you a little benefit of the doubt on the number. I think if it was, if that didn't happen against Kansas the other night, maybe Oregon might have been favored by 2 points going in. Let's say USC wins a tight game against Kansas. Oregon might be favored by 2 going into this game. But because it was national TV, it was the last game of the week. Everybody saw it.
Right.
They smoked Kansas, but don't forget Oregon. But don't forget Iowa's a number 2 seed, and Oregon smoked Iowa too.
Easy.
So you know, that's still out there too. So, I mean, I know what you're saying. The Mobley brothers look amazing. They're NBA players all out.
Right.
But I'm just not ready to make a decision on USC this one. But because that Kansas game is so fresh in my mind, that's why I'm leaning USC. I would rather let this because Oregon did everything to Iowa that USC did to Kansas, you know. So
sure. I mean, I agree. I just, again, I've watching these teams. I've watched both of them. I just, the eye test for me. I'm going to go with the pro. It's close.
I'm still kicking myself because I say all this shit and I say all this shit going into the bracket. So what do I do with Iowa and Oregon the other day? I take Iowa.
I take Iowa. Yep. I mean, that line played us. That's what I think anyway, but
so,
whatever.
All right, we're going to be out. We'll let you know our for sure pick, but obviously you see Webb is feeling strong about USC. I'm still up in the air. I'm not ready to make a definite pick on that, but all of our picks will be on sportswatchmonitor.com. Make sure you check them out.
You could always just text, ask, email, whatever.
Ask us. We're happy to
love to hear. We'd love to hear from you.
Webb, did you get a bead from our UFC man about 260 yet, or
I did. It's funny. That's what I'm looking at right here. It's great. I mean, this is going to be. There's some tight. I mean, the word is these are going to be great fights. I mean, these guys aren't the veteran guys that we've seen these past couple weeks, but Myasic or whatever, and Nguyen or Nagayan or whatever his name is, Nagano. It's going to be a great fight, but I'm hearing everything I'm saying. We're going to a little bit of an underdog here. We're going to go with the American with Myasic there. Also, a lot of the easy one, the lock I'm hearing is Luke, the minus 260, whatever he's Jamaican against a lot of Americans against Woodley is going to be the lock, and then there's the woman, Miranda Maverick, the other one, another American. That's another fairly easy one, I'm being told. That's straight from the Wager Maker Insider. Those three.
So we got Maverick, Luke, and Nagano.
Maverick and Luke, sir. Send it.
Are we going Myasic or Nagano?
Myasic in a straight.
And I know I'm butchering that name.
Right, so am I.
All right.
And I should be better at this, but yeah, we're going with the American and a slight underdog. It's going to be a great fight though. But that one is not as near as. I'm wondering if there's a little bit of a. Little patriotism going on there, but that's all right. We'll take that all day long. We're going with Myasic, Luke, and the American woman Maverick as the locks, and then the main event. We're gonna hopefully have some winnings going in that, and we can send it in on the last American.
All right, fair enough. So look, we got you guys all kinds of info. We got you straight on the MN3 Wager Makers bracket pool. The first annual, we got you straight on UFC. We got you straight on what's coming up in the Sweet 16. Make sure you check this out. And listen, all I want to say is, please, if you like what you're listening to, you like what you're seeing, share our YouTube page. Get on there. Hit the bell. Post notifications. Remember what Devin said. Facebook, The Wager Makers Podcast. Also on Facebook, The Wager Makers Talk. Twitter, @The Wager Makers. Instagram, @The Wager Makers. You never know when we're going to put some winning picks out there. You can email us at thewagermakers@gmail.com. You can listen to us anywhere you listen to podcasts. You can go to YouTube and see us, our ugly faces straight up.
Yeah, that's scary. That's scary. At least Devin's got the face for YouTube.
Right. John Grow, thank you for the bumper music. C. Really and Little Saint the Goat, thank you. Check us out everywhere. Share our stuff up. Thank you all for listening. Good luck to everybody still available in this bracket pool. And Webb, take us out.
Brick by brick, baby. Thanks everybody for listening. And Smitt's right. Just please share, like, subscribe. That's what we need. We need subscribers. If anyone listens to any of this type of stuff like I do on Sirius or wherever, this is just as good as anything else that's going out there. Please believe me. So any way you can help us out, please do so. We really appreciate everything. That's 42 entries into the pool. Is fantastic. Thank you so much. Someone will be getting $600 come, what is it, April 2nd or April 3rd, whatever day that is, that Tuesday morning after that championship. And thanks everybody for listening. Brick by brick, baby.
Welcome to the Wager Makers Podcast with Webb and Smitt.
Yeah. Hey, shout out Wager Maker Podcast.
Brick by brick, baby.
Yeah.
Here comes the Wager Maker
Here I go.
Express.
I hear y'all sick of losing money cause y'all don't know how to bet. Better hit that Wager Maker podcast with Smitt and Webb. They gon' show y'all how to do this. Take these notes like y'all some students. Y'all can't seem to pick them right. Well, tonight y'all lucky night. It's that Wager Maker podcast. Wager Maker podcast. Wager Maker podcast. Your bookie getting sick cause we built this brick by brick. It's that Wager Maker podcast. It's that Wager Maker podcast. It's that Wager Maker podcast. Come and place your bets with that WM Express. Let's go.